Okay, so we got some issues going on here with this new sprayer that I bought. This sprayer works wonderful. It's great and everything, but the 90-foot booms, well, 90-foot booms here in New Jersey are awesome in great big fields because you can just fly through it. Just like anywhere else on the planet, they're great. But the problem is our fields are small. Probably average size field here in Jersey is around 12 acres. So, what happens is, you get whipping around the corners, and they're not square, they're kind of triangular, and some of them have S-bends in them, and you get into the fence rows because they're so small. Well, you'll catch this end here, and you'll bust this, you'll bust your little, what do you call it here off? Your, yeah, why can't I think straight here? You'll bust off your, come on, brainless, your fence row nozzle. That's a little check valve in there, electronic solenoid valve. So that happens, you rip off your nozzles, and you break your boom. Now, when you break your boom, you have to fix it with a light gauge metal. As you can see, this is probably a little heavier than the original metal. So what I'm gonna do, and I've got this already cleaned up enough, I'm gonna tack this on. Well, I have to clean up my metal there. I gotta grind that, but it was too hot to hold with these bare hands. Plus I gotta get a pair of leather gloves, which I think I'm gonna do right now. The only reason I'm wearing these is because of the chemicals and stuff. I don't take 2,4-D too well. I really hate this stuff. I got activated charcoal filters in my tractor, but you know, when I get out of the tractor and I'm handling this product, you gotta wear protective gloves. So anyway, yeah, my shop's a mess. You know, I got a lot of people say about my messy shop. For the most part, I know exactly where everything is that I've used recently. It's when here's what I'm looking for my gloves. See? A pair of leather gloves so I can weld on this stuff because it gets pretty hot. My shop is messy for a reason. A few years back, I used to keep it pretty clean. My father never did, and it used to drive me nuts. Oh, shoot. So, anyways, my father never did, and it used to drive me crazy. So, here, I'm gonna set you up here. Yeah, so I never did. I cleaned it up. Well, when I cleaned it up and I made it manageable for people to, you know, for everybody to walk over to the toolbox, which is over there in that corner, which you're never going to find a wrench in it. And, I mean, there are wrenches there, but walk over to the corner, grab the tools you need, go back to your job, and do the job that you were going to do in the first place. Well, we had some, I'm going to set this camera up, we had some fellas, and I should say fellas, that also decided that they knew where my stuff was. And of course, when you have people that say, hey, I know where One Lonely Farmer stuff is, so I'm going to go help myself to it. That's fine. When I started losing some fairly expensive tools, I decided that a messy shop that nobody could find anything in was better than a shop you could find everything in. So that's when I made the decision that a messy shop is better than a clean shop, for the simple fact and matter is that I stopped losing tools when I made it a mess. Not only were they tools, but they were taking nuts and bolts and everything else. Okay, a lot of you guys are going to say, hey, why don't you use a MIG welder to do this job? Because a MIG welder would work really well. I have one. I got a really nice one, actually. The reason I don't use it is because I'm out of gas. And I'm pretty good at welding with this thing anyway, so yeah. Right. So anyways, I got my messy shop here, and I know where 90% of the stuff is. It usually only takes a couple minutes for the things that I haven't used in a while to find it, but that's the reason. I hate losing tools and nuts and bolts and other things like just stuff. Oil. I mean, oil. I used to put my oil, my quarts of oil, I have them in 55-gallon drums, but I used to put my quarts of oil down in that container there. It's up on blocks, and I would fill that up with quarts, and, well, I used to come in for the quarts of oil, and the oil was gone. So what do? You just stop making a clean shop where everybody can find your stuff. Oh, shoot. So anyways, now I have to get this thing here. I gotta work on this a little bit. I'm gonna beat that with a hammer and put another strap on there. Let's see what we got. As you can see, these are not perfect welds because of all the dirt and shit. This is powder coated paint, so it's really hard to get off. And I can't get the grinder in there for a couple of reasons. I don't want to hit wires and hoses and lines because these are very expensive. Oh shit, I got one that broke off there and a missing bolt. Okay, so anyway, I had some slag inclusion, but that's fine. It's not like it's, you know, it's not like these welds are going to be perfect. Now the reason I'm doing it this way, instead of just slapping a piece of angle iron on there, is because when these booms break, they're so thin, and you can't really see too well, but they're so thin that they kind of buckle up and underneath there. You see that? How it's like buckled? So what you got to do is you actually have to build a bridge around the brake, okay? Once you get that bridge around the brake and you solidify your box that you've put on there, it just completely eliminates that brake altogether. Whereas with the angle iron, you're only going to put a piece of angle on the bottom. It's going to be very heavy, which you don't want, because weight is an issue with these things. So you're going to have a piece of angle on the bottom. If you throw one on the top, it's going to look like a piece of shit, and it's not going to perform very well because it will just kind of break out back here, over here, and this is going to flex. So what I'm doing is actually removing the chance of any flex by building a completely new box. It's going to pull from here and here, and then wider here and here. So there's like this huge area that is going to be pulling. Plus, the welds are stronger and thicker than this little bit of tin anyway. I mean, it's like, I think it's 16 gauge. It's either 16 or 18 gauge flat steel or box steel. I'm going to paint this up because I do use some pretty corrosive materials here. So just New Holland red will do it. I'm gonna fix this. When this broke, it obviously broke my mount here, and for some reason I lost a bolt that holds that on, but it's really no big deal. So I got one more piece to go on there, and that's why you box them like that. Now some guys you know, wouldn't even do this. They would just say, oh, the boom's broke, go buy a whole new boom. Well, that's fine and everything, but I'm not rich. As you see, this has been done before over here. I didn't do this. This was done by another farmer or whoever owned it before. And they did. See how they put a square piece over top of that. But you see how it buckled? I don't know if you could see that divot, but it's buckled there. It's actually buckled up. So in the upstroke, so that'll be stronger because it's got to force that down, and it seems to be working pretty good. So anyway, for the most part, I think I could probably get away with not even bothering with the bottom because of the 1/8 inch metal that I put in there. But I'm going to just to complete the box so that it's strong. It's really strong. I do have actually a downstroke on this one. Apparently the heat from me welding it has actually brought it down, but I'm not worried about that. That little bit of downstroke there isn't going to make much of a difference to me. So anyway, yeah, the other thing is, because this is broke here, and there's a lot of weight out here, these little things here really just annoy the crap out of me. I think I'm just going to completely pull that off of there and plug it, block it, so that I don't get any fluid going out. And you can take this here apart where it's coupled and throw a nickel or a dime in there, and that'll seal it. A nickel and a dime with an O-ring will seal that, so that's just another trick you can use. I'm going to see how it works out. I think I have one in my pocket that I can do. But anyways, I'm going to finish that up, and yeah, if I get my nickel or dime in there, I'll show you that too. But other than that, thanks for watching, and please comment and rate. Thank you.